Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back to Morning Intentions. Today is Wednesday, July 29th. Thank you for joining us today. Annette, thank you for joining me. I've been thinking a lot about our episode from yesterday, recognizing that starting again is a courageous act. It's a very courageous act, first of all, because you are recognizing that something that you were doing before or what was going on before wasn't working, and you're willing to pick yourself up off the ground, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. We can get stuck thinking, well, that didn't work out. What's the point? Why bother? I failed the first time, or it didn't work out the first time, or the 10th time. Forget it. I give up. Throw in the towel. I might as well just stay home and collect plants or something. Like, we can have that attitude that, well, it hasn't worked out so far. What's the point of trying again? So if you're starting again, remember that courage. It takes courage to keep on going in this life. The second thing that has come up for me as we are talking about starting again takes courage and the courage to start again, I would like to normalize the fact that we all will start again at some point. It's not a unique experience that only a few people in the world go through. Starting again happens to every single person at some point. Life is short, but it's also very, very long. In that length, we will find ourselves in crossroads and recognizing that what worked before doesn't work now, and so we have to start again and go in a different direction. We could lose our home to a fire. We could get divorced. We could lose our job. Anything can happen to anybody. Starting again is not unique. So I want to normalize that that's the truth, because I think that will help people, whether you're the starting againer person or you're around someone who's starting again. This is not a personal moral failure. This isn't, well, if they just did something better or different, they wouldn't be in this position right now. Maybe not. Maybe that's just part of life. That hero's journey that we talked about, was that last August? Almost a year ago?
Could have been. I can't remember.
Well, it's either August or September. One of those two. We had a whole month of the hero's journey. Well, the hero's journey isn't a one-time thing. It's a cycle, where throughout life we go on these journeys where we have our tests, our allies and enemies. We grow and we learn. I won't do the whole thing today because that'll get us way off topic. But that hero's journey is something we all can go through if we're living. If we're just alive, we go through this cycle of disappointment, learning and growth, finding our strength and courage, and coming out on the other side and better for it. So to not see starting again, it is a pain point, yes. But it's not painful because you're starting again. It's just a painful experience. To not make it bigger than it is. I hope I'm explaining this well.
Well, there's two things that I would add. One is we could have really made some mistakes. We could have not shown up for years and years and years in a way that contributed to our lives and other people's lives. And if we're making life changes and we're reprioritizing, it doesn't mean that we were doing everything right. I mean, I want us to be realistic here.
You're so right.
Sometimes we reprioritize because we've been a screw up. I don't know how to say it any other way. And we say, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm learning to have more compassion, or I'm learning to understand why I have been showing up the way I have and what I've been doing. Because maybe it was an unconscious pattern that we thought we needed, and we're starting to think, no, I don't need to do this anymore. Life changes and reprioritizing can come from mistakes. We weren't failures, but maybe we really weren't how we want to be. And so the courage then would be to lay that all aside, looking back, learning from our mistakes, but not living in the past, not continuing to beat ourselves up. That's where we get to the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, the actions, and the outcome. So that's the first thing that I would say. The second thing.
Hold on, before you get to that second thing, you're so right. The entryway to life changes, reprioritizing, can be a rather large funnel, like a very wide mouth funnel, where it can be so many different paths. You could have been a screw up. You could have made mistakes, and then you're like, gosh, I never want to do that again. Maybe you were trying really hard and it just didn't work out. It could be anywhere in the middle of that. Those are probably the two extremes. But life is not always black and white. There are those shades of gray. And then, yes, we want to recognize how we got to where we got to, and then also pick ourselves up and keep going.
Right, because like you say, life is short, but it's also long. And when we have this recognition that we haven't been showing up well, and we're willing to do the work, then let's just do it. We might have to make amends. We might have to make some apologies. Remember, the only true apology, though, is changed behavior. So if we're willing to change our behavior, then we have all the years left that we're going to live that we can show up better. And we can learn from our past mistakes. The next thing is just a small little comment, is that you were mentioning that sometimes life changes and reprioritizing can feel painful, but it also can feel very joyous. And what I mean by that is when we're struggling with maybe a health issue or a divorce or all of that, that can really feel painful. Or we lose someone that we love. It can feel very painful. So there's that. But then there's also this other experience of recognizing that the career that we've chosen doesn't fit us, and then we have the courage, we make the change, we reprioritize, we're willing to have the life changes, and we end up happier than we ever have been. Or we start having boundaries. Remember our whole month of high functioning codependency? When you have high functioning codependency and you're willing to look at that and have courage to change, 2-3 years later, you'll be happier than you ever have been, because you're not holding yourself hostage by trying to do all things for all people and minimize your own needs and all of that. So I just wanted to bring up those two things.
I appreciate you bringing that nuance to this conversation, those asterisks. It can feel easy and more secure to just say, well, life is like this, or to make life changes and reprioritize, you just do this and you're fine. That's not the way life works. It's never just the easy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just follow all the right steps and you'll be okay. There's so many different paths. There's so many different variations because we're all unique. So to bring this to light that, yes, we can have this little thread that we're following. We can say, starting again takes courage, but then bringing in all those fine details, that's how we can make the experience unique to us.
And a joyous experience. It can truly be joyous. Maybe not in the moment, but when you look back, you can say, I'm so thankful I had the courage to make the change. I'm so thankful that I had the courage to change my diet because now I feel so much better. I'm so thankful that I had the courage to end a marriage that wasn't working. I'm so thankful that I went back to school, changed my career. Those were some tough years, but now I have a career I love. We can't forget that part either.
No, we can't. So for today, our intention is, I will honor my past by having the courage to live fully in the present. I will honor my past by having the courage to live fully in the present. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.